afternoon, good evening, good to see you. Good to see. When I say good to see you, I mean good to see you to see us, because I can't see you. And this is the S.H.O.P, the Social Hub of Positivity, here in the new shop in Emery Gate, wonderful shopping centre, which is in Chippenham, which of course, as you all know, is in Wiltshire, and Wiltshire's in England, and England is on the planet Earth. Now, on the planet Earth also, we have this very exciting artiste. Can I call you an artiste?
Yeah.
Adam Jeffcoat is. How long have you been? You've not been long in Chippenham, have you?
No, 5 or 6 years.
It's long enough.
Yeah,
There
long
goes
enough.
Katie's just gone through the window. But don't worry about that.
Veteran.
You,
Almost.
yeah, you
Right.
could, yeah, kind of. Great artist whose exhibition we are going to be putting is currently being put on in our shop. So please come along and look at it and buy some stuff, because it's really exciting stuff. And we'll do a little. Should we do a little doodah of it in a minute? I don't know what a doodah is, but you can imagine it's a little something. Sneak peek. Sneak peek will be the best word now. So Adam, tell me this: you don't just do, because the art that you do, which we're going to see in this bit in a minute, we'll edit this in. You don't just do that sort of art. See how that works? That sort of art. What else do you do?
Animation mainly. That's what I trained in as an animator for 20 years now. I think maybe than that.
Wow.
21 years or so. Yeah, but obviously, art's a big part of it. We're sort of trained in painting, drawing, animation, storyboards, writing, all that kind of thing. So art was always a big part of it. But I started painting as a way to get away from computer screens. Spending a lot of time staring at screens when you're animating, it's quite a time-consuming process. And one day I just thought, let's not paint something real, physical, just get away from a digital image. And I started sort of developing these ideas for these paintings, just kind of pop art style, capturing things that I loved about music and film. And grew from there. And I started putting them in galleries, and people seemed to like them.
Fantastic.
So it came from there.
So I'm going to talk about animation just for a bit. What do you animate? And
yeah, I mean, we most of the work we do is for sort of TV, like Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network, those kind of brands.
wicked, like something that people would know.
Yeah, stuff. I mean, so we often do promos or things that would be on, say, on Nick Jr., say in between the cartoons. They might have a little animated commercial for something that's coming up. And then we did that for a good 10 years, where we were doing like service work for different clients. Sometimes, adverts for something like Sky News, or we've done, commercials for, CBBC, CBBS, all that kind of thing.
Right.
And then after doing that for about 10 years, we decided this is great, but we want to make our own cartoons. That would be where, the creme de la creme, if you like. And so we started pitching at that point to actually make our own TV series. And we did that for about 3 or 4 years. Yeah. And we pitched it. We managed to get into the door of like Cartoon Network and all these big companies and pitching our ideas, and we never could quite get a bite. There was always this, it's good, but never quite got there.
I've done that.
And in the end, we thought
Most of my relationships.
yeah, we hear it a lot. But we just thought, we really, we feel like we've got good ideas. Like, how can we just get something out there? Because essentially, these execs become kind of like gatekeepers of content. They decide what goes on the channels. Yeah. So at the time, back in 2015, now seems a long time ago, when the iPad had just come out, we were looking at this thing, thinking, this is an amazing opportunity, because the screen is interactive. You can actually touch it and play with it. So we thought, what if we did a comic that you could actually touch and it would come alive? So the panel, you press it and it would play out like a little movie. Kind of like you do in your imagination as a kid. I thought that'd be a neat concept, and so we started developing this, and it started to gather steam, and we put it on social media, and people seemed to get quite excited. So we ran a Kickstarter in 2014. This was, and so I'm going backwards. We started in 2013, did the Kickstarter in 2014, and managed to raise about 30 grand to get some help to sort of finish this project. And we ended up making a full kind of 50-page comic, animated comic, and released it on the App Store for tablets back in, I think that, this was probably before Google Play, so I think it was literally just for Apple tablets. And when we submitted it, Apple actually messaged us saying, "This looks great. You know, do you want to send us some more info and we'll feature you?" So we did that. They featured us, and we hit #1 in the bookstore, and got something like 400,000 downloads in the first week.
Wow!
And we were like, "Yeah, this is amazing. We're going to be rich. We're going to be famous." All this stuff. So, started buying Ferraris on the credit card, and then we got our first sales report, and it was actually quite disappointing, because it turns out that loads of people downloaded it, but no one actually paid for the actual app. There's that sort of funny thing about the value of apps. I think everyone seeks free stuff, but no one. It's quite hard to get someone to pay for something. So we're quite.
I've ever paid for one of you.
That's the thing, isn't it? As soon as it says pay, you just go, "Oh no, I'm not interested." So it's a strange perception of value for the App Store, that even though we only charged it at like £2.99, and it was 50 pages of animated comic, you think that's a fair deal, but people still wouldn't pay that. Anyway, so that didn't quite go as planned. It didn't quite make the millions we hoped, but we got an unexpected email from Amazon, who had literally, their channel had just started to launch back in 2015, and they said, "Oh, we've seen your animated comic, and we think it would be fantastic as a kids animated series. Would you like to be part of our pilot program?" Like, hell yeah! So we literally, within, considering we've been pitching at that point for the best part of 4 or 5 years and not had any success. Amazon came to us within 2 weeks. We had a deal with them, all green lit and ready to go. So we then spent the next year working on a pilot of that animated comic. It was called Nico and the Sword of Light. There was an action adventure kind of tale for kids, a bit like He-Man, the sort of old school cartoons. We worked on a pilot, and that got put on Amazon Prime, and then turned into a TV series, and ended up winning an Emmy and a couple of other awards.
That's amazing.
It was bananas. And so considering we didn't try to get a show, we just thought, sod this, let's just make something. And then that ended up being a TV series anyway. So it was an interesting lesson for us.
Is it still out there?
It's still on Amazon Prime. It's on the streaming site.
I'll be doing tonight.
At every third moon's darkening, a champion is created to defeat the evil sorcerer, Nar-Est. And every time, they have failed.
Present this new hero with the shard. Keep him hidden. Keep him safe.
This time, we will win.
Greetings, small creature.
Oh!
Are you him?
Ooh, what is that? Can I hold it?
Not yet.
Burn Girl has returned with another champion. My creatures of the darkness will make short work of him.
Nico! I am Nico, and this is my Sword of Light!
Come on!
Darkness, be gone!
You cured it, Nico.
Yet I have not defeated the darkness. I will defeat Nar-Est.
I'll be waiting.
Commodore Algus Chomsky is the name.
Greetings, good friends.
At least there's nothing in these parts that's trying to crush us. Nope, I misjudged the situation.
I want his half-sized champion stopped, and I want that sword brought to me.
I am here to free my people and defeat the darkness.
Just one sliver of light chases away a lot of darkness. The rest is a piece of cake.
I love cake.
That's right. That's brilliant. Is that a finished thing?
We did the 2 seasons, and then they actually closed the whole kids department. I think some budget issues that went on there behind the scenes.
I think was that when he was trying to invest in his own little space rocket.
Probably,
Let's go to Mars. Got to go. Let's go to Mars to get this.
Shows.
Yeah, kids. Who needs kids? Wow.
Yeah, so it's a funny story.
That's amazing. But fair play to you for keeping going regardless, because we are self-producers. We do a lot of stuff. We put out films or whatever in our own way, in our own little way. But we did a pilot for a biographical kind of. It was comedic, but kind of not dark, but it was socially realistic in a sense. Got great reviews. We made a 10-minute bite-sized synopsis of it, and filmed it and what have you, and then put it out to the TV things, and it's the same thing. Oh, this is great, but this is great, but if only it had, you know, whatever in it. It's sort of like, no, we're not going to change the story just because it doesn't meet your quota of this, that, and the other. It's actually biographical, not mine. My brother's bizarrely. Exactly. So it's kind of like, do you compromise the reality of what you're trying to show, just merely to get it made or to get it greenlit by some production company or some TV production, whatever. We didn't. It's still in the thing, but we make our own stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not about the money because we're a community organisation. We are working with participants. It's usually about empowering them to tell their story and informing other people who wouldn't necessarily move in their circles to understand the plight of very things. So a lot of our stuff is socially realistic. But are you still doing? So that's amazing. But you know, it's no surprise that Amazon only did 2. But that you did it at all, and you got. Did you say you won an Emmy?
Yeah, we got an Emmy.
Sorry, I got one of our films was BAFTA nominated. That was like blew our minds because we made it on, you know, literally when I say shoestring, we didn't have the string we had, it belonged to anything. It was like a cheese string. It was like, you know, really small budget. In fact, I remember being at the BAFTAs and looking around and thinking, wow, they in each of the seats they put bottles of champagne and there was like flowers and chocolates. And I thought, that's cost more than our movie.
Yeah, that's bananas.
Do you know what I mean? We could, if you hadn't spent this money on this, we could make 2 other movies.
And a sequel.
Yeah. So it's a strange world, but that you won an Emmy is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that, you know, I've always been one of those people, oh, you know, Oscars, they're all rigged, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But when you win one, you realise it opens doors for you. Because now every time we pitch something, you know, we say, oh yeah, we're Emmy-winning creators.
Of course, why wouldn't
they pay attention, and that's just the way this world works.
Of course it does.
So yeah, it's a nice surprise.
Yeah, brilliant. So, are you following that up then with other animation?
Yeah, we've made several other things since then. We've directed an Eastern European horror film, which was good fun. We got
actual.
No, it's about 15 minutes of animation.
Right, so everything's animation.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'd love to do some live action, absolutely. But it's funny. That's probably what I always wanted to be as a kid, was a live action director.
Yeah.
And since I've dropped into animation, it's kind of changed my ambition a little bit. And I think, you know, there's so many amazing live action directors out there, and you know, when you really delve into the reality of that job, it's very much like going away different countries on shoot for 6 months. You know, you don't see your family. And the reality of it wasn't quite what I imagined. Whereas animation, you know, you can do it all in your studio and you have control over every shot. And so there's something. It's definitely not better, but there's something more interesting about that approach, to have that control over the story and the process.
I know what you mean. Wow, that is mind blowing, actually. So, what are you working at the moment?
So at the moment we are doing. So we're working on a preschool pilot for a kids series, and we're doing a kind of a sci-fi comedy for 9-10-year-olds, which we're trying to pitch at the moment to, you know, all the networks and everything. Yeah. So that's a lot of fun. And then as I say, painting on the side to
but this painting on the side. You're painting, and again, we'll show some of this in a minute. So it'll be intercut, so people won't just be looking at me and you talking on a settee, whatever this is. Your paintings of such a standard that could be someone's lifetime's career.
Oh, I appreciate that. It's
really great.
You know, as an artist, you always look at your own work and think it's terrible, and you know, move on to the next one.
Yeah. No, well, I know what you're saying. I do. Of course, as you probably worked out here, that we actually have a lot of the volunteers are actually in-house artists.
Yeah,
so they'll do workshops. They sell their stuff, and they'll do workshops. So we can do what we're trying to do, is make it accessible art in all its different formats.
Yeah.
So I'd be interested to see if there's any way we could collaborate with you on an animation, because we have an alternative education program, which we run every day in our other space,
that'd be cool.
to give those that wouldn't normally have an opportunity. And we've been blessed. Like Ray Winston, you know, the actor, was in our film. Mel C is a fantastic support of ours. She's done records in our studio, does stuff with the refugee projects that we do. So having people of a height, Dame Norban and people like that, but the people because we're kind of working with disparate people in different parts of the country in areas that most people don't, there's very little light shone on those issues. Using the arts to for the participants, for a way of them to be empowered to look at how they can tell a story, to learn skills and to learn, you know, transferable skills, but also on a mental health basis, an emotional well-being basis. The arts in all its forms, I don't care what it is. If it helps to allow people to understand each other better and create a better understanding in all sorts of areas about certain issues, particularly might be homelessness, refugees, etc., etc. We're always working in the areas of society that aren't deemed to be that again don't have enough light shone on them. That's probably why. There goes. That's it. Yeah, he's just broke the window and the thing.
Gone down.
So that is amazing. But yes, I get why you might be think that your own work is whatever. But I was amazed.
I appreciate
that. But when I've seen it and then realised that was like a side hustle, shall we say, and not your main thing. I can't wait to see the animation. How can we get hold of that?
Yeah, I mean, you can see Nico and the Sword of Light on Amazon.
Nico the Sword of Light, Maya said, put this on, and I'm going to watch it tonight.
Yeah, and my website, which is just the word studio and then the letters nx.com.
Right, so Lauren, can we make sure we've got that for Sunday so that people can then just tune in to see what you do? But it's you can come down. We were going to have that launch, weren't we? But we're going to come down. You can come down and see the art that Adam's done in the shop, and you can obviously put your digits in or whatever it is into YouTube, wherever, and see the other stuff. Is there anything else that you're doing that people can look out for?
That's pretty much it at the moment. Yeah, just mainly, you know, the animation work, and then this on the side. That's all I've got time for these days.
Surprised.
The social media takes up a ludicrous amount of time for both, you know, for both art and the animation stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, for me, that's just a really good way to have a break and
nice. I can see that. Get away from screens.
Yeah.
So who's the we in your animation world? Is there a team of people?
So me and my colleague Jim, we've started the studio, and we run it remotely. He lives in Portugal at the moment, and so we always kind of run the studio online.
Yeah.
That way it keeps the overheads down. You haven't got like a physical studio to obviously run and staff. And when we get jobs in, we'll just kind of hire a load of freelancers and scale up and then back down again. So it works quite well. It keeps us flexible. I've managed to be able to live in lots of different places, Barcelona, in London, Canada, and, you know, because you just basically need a computer and an internet connection, which is quite nice.
Yeah.
Obviously now I'm settled in Chippenham with kids, and this feels like home now.
Good. Good.
So local artist.
That's it. I mean, you know, and the idea, I guess, for us is we do work all over the country, and we do it abroad sometimes, but in reality, this whole hub, the social hub, is about generating a space that's shared. Different people from different backgrounds come in here. You do workshops, whether it's the music workshops, the poetry workshops, the art workshops, whatever, creative writing. That it's accessible. Yeah. That you're likely to see some of the artists. You look at the art and go on the wall and go, wow, go. And I often do and say, that person there did.
Yeah, I think it's so nice when you get to meet people. And it's not just, you know, faceless.
Be interesting. Is there any way of transferring your skills into a workshop? He said, try to get a workshop out of you.
Yeah, I mean, I've done stuff at schools where I've gone in and either taught kind of the basics of animation. If obviously if everyone has a computer, that's easier, or you do more old school, you know, paper and pencil style. And then I've done a bit of kind of a drawing workshop with younger kids, you know, like how to draw SpongeBob SquarePants, or how to draw you know, Peppa Pig, let's say, something that they kind of get into. So yeah, either way. Yeah,
because we're starting our kids club actually. So this is going on Sunday. So yesterday, in the world of the television or whatever this is going out on, we're doing a kids club from 5 till 11-year-olds in our other building over there. So with multitude of arts as well as music for them to explore and express. So maybe we could get you involved in that.
Yeah, that'd be lovely.
But we can discuss that, and maybe, I bet you your storyboards would be amazing for a live action film.
Yeah, I've done a lot of live action stuff.
Oh, I'm trying to put that.
It's something that would be nice to do.
seed
Yeah,
into your
yeah,
mind there.
yeah, but yeah,
See?
I've got a
Yeah,
passion
we've
for
got
it.
this brilliant, because we do films, and it'd be interesting, even if it's just as a hobby, on the hobby level for yourself, to be involved and without having to commit your life, because you're right, it's really time consuming, etc., etc.
Yeah.
If we were doing something, maybe we could collaborate, and you could get your director's head on and go, oh, actually, yeah.
Sounds good.
And we were, it was like Bash Street had 100 people, it had 5 professional people, but 100 local people in it, and that got accepted at the Bath International Film. I'm looking there, you can't see it. So this isn't Bash Street, that's Lauren. Behind there is a wow, she's good. She's got it. That's had 100 local people involved in it.
Yeah.
And Mel C came up and did one of the tracks, one of our tracks for the soundtrack, and then 10 other local bands.
Oh, nice.
So it's that on that level.
Yeah.
And it's
great.
kind of like social realism. It's an interesting thing about it being at the Bath International Film Festival was that Ken Loach. Do you know the director Ken Loach, who Cares and what have you, was one of my favourite all time.
Yeah, of course.
The Wind That Shook the Barley, loads of great social realistic films. So I was blown away because I wrote and directed it, and it was like, wow, I'm getting to meet Ken Loach.
Yeah,
and like the guy
fantastic.
who loved the film, who put it into the festival, said, and like Ken, I was going, yeah, but you don't get it. He's literally one of my biggest influences. So it was amazing. But it would be maybe interesting to keep the lines open so that when we're doing film projects, you would say, Ed, this is so amateur, I want to punch you. And then we can talk about that. Or, as part of your community, you can add your I should imagine, if your art's anything to go by, your considerable artistic, I don't know, I was going to say bent, but what I was going to say, I don't know really, your artistic perspective on it, and maybe suggest things that might improve what we were doing, because everyone knows, you know how some people try and make silk purses out of pig's ears. I'm just happy just selling the pig's ears. It's like, no, we're all good, this is it, don't worry about it. It's about the professionals. Sorry, no, it's not about the professionals, it's about the participants. As long as our films and our music and our recordings and stuff are byproducts of the process that we go through with the people. As the people that we work with generally don't usually have the opportunity for socio-economic reasons or manner of reasons, we try and ensure that they do. So it would be great to get you in some way to maybe do something that would add to that.
Go, yeah.
Right, anything else you want to say before because I know you've got to shoot off?
Yeah, I mean, just you know, the paintings themselves are kind of very much inspired by. I wanted to try and capture that moment where, you know, you think back about a film that you really love, and there's a nostalgia to it, a nostalgic quality, and then to try and capture that in an image. So when you look at the painting, you know, it's giving you the feeling of how that film made you feel. That's really what the kind of whole series is about. So it's sort of music and film inspired, like either musicians that have had that effect on me, like Jimi Hendrix or Bob Marley, or you know, films like, you know, classic films like Scarface, or I think often films that are quite arty, like Drive. Have you seen that one, Ryan Gosling?
No, I haven't actually. Sorry, I was about to lie. I was thinking about Crash. No.
Oh, Crash.
That's Drive first, then Crash later.
Yeah, exactly. That's what happens when you've been drinking. But it's it's a really stunningly shot film, and so it was interesting to sort of try and capture that in a single image, and the way they've lit the main character. It's kind of like really like neon. Almost like 80s style, but obviously it's a modern film, and so I try and kind of come up with an image that captures that, and also the actor's expression that kind of captures the essence of their character in the film.
So I've seen the Scarface one, for instance. I get you.
He's like, obviously, you know, that point he's completely lost it, and he's kind of, you know, down the dark rabbit hole, let's say. So it's just trying to capture those moments, and
the iconic moments, aren't they? That's brilliant.
So when people, you know, often if something resonates with someone, it's because it gives them that feeling, and then they'll come to me and say, how much is it? I'll buy it. Whereas if people haven't seen the film, or they don't resonate with it, even if they like the image, they don't tend to.
I know.
You know, so it's interesting. It's kind of tapping into that, and people.
No, that's brilliant, because
it's fun.
Obviously we're going to film it now, so people will get an idea of what your art is and what it looks like. That's superb, man, and thank you so much for spending the time to talk to us
That's a pleasure.
about that.
Yeah.
Now, over to you, everyone out there. Come into our lovely social hub and buy some of this stuff, because I don't know if you've heard, but Christmas is coming and the goose is probably okay because everyone's eating turkeys.
There's some good Christmas presents in there as well.
Isn't there?
Yeah.
Because you've got prints as well. So
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
got-
Yeah.
Exactly.
All
So,
different prices for things.
there's all sorts of we're going to show everything now. Not now, because it will already be shown in this bit. So it's back and front, back and front.
Yeah.
You're a great man.
you
Really
very much.
appreciate it.
Cheers.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Adam, and we'll see him. You'll see his stuff in the shop, and we will see you when we see you. Love and peace. It's a wrap.
Spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, just another speck in the cosmic show.